I'm ready to talk to Mazzof. Show me the Merecaster.
You have proven to me I can trust you. Only remember what you have learned in these tasks. Be gentle with Zerion. You are violating his mind. Be true to his path. Find what you need and return without causing him harm. You have a duty to preserve his life as he intended it, if at all possible.
He presses the box into your hands. Tidal energy swirls around you, drawing you in like a maelstrom. You focus on it, opening your innermost eye, and you are torn from your body. I hope there's a way to know what the fuck the guy whose smear we're using actually was supposed to do. Because if it's left to guesswork, how the fuck should I know? When you first open your eyes, there is only a ruddy glow and frightening shapes in shadows around you. The air is hot and stifling. As your eyes adjust, you realize you're outside, but the sky is darkened by clouds of pitch. The ruddy glow comes from lava flows as they trundle down distant mountains into the volcanic fields all around you. Sharp towers pierce the sky, tapered like the bones of a ribcage. Indeed, they look like bones in every way, as does the ground beneath you. You appear to be standing on the spine of an enormous beast. The bottom of its jaw can be seen far in the distance, half buried beneath a layer of cooled lava. Most of the bone towers look identical, but one shines from the inside with an odd blue light. The top of the glowing tower has been snapped up and what looks like a transport hovers next to its peak. It's your transport. You were sent here to find something. Twisted bridges connect the spine to the volcanic fields around you. In one direction lie enormous formations of obsidian, arches, spires, a wall. In the other direction, a narrow pass is carved in the mountain face. The field leading to the canyon is illuminated by hundreds of glowing lights. What lights? You know this body wasn't sent to find Mazzof, but Adiri said he'd appear. Perhaps following through events will lead you to him. Try to remember who you are and how you can find Mazzof. You can't remember any of the memories this body once had, but you know his name was Zerion Daywalker. You remember another name, though you don't know its significance. The Chimera. Zerion is wearing a black form-fitting suit. Okay, is it my name or do I just remember some other name? Zerion is wearing a black form-fitting suit that keeps off the worst of the heat. He carries a whip and various what? He carries a whip and various ornaments that remind you of the dead. Seeing the ornaments, you realize they're not just decorative. You can feel the dead around you, as well as the stories of those who died here. Zerion must have had some strange connection beyond the world of the living. Perhaps that has something to do with why he was sent on this mission. Use your connection to the dead to learn more about the area of the spine. You are in a place called the Field of Ossifagan, and many have lived and died here though it seems a terrible place to live. Scavengers from Sagus Cliffs have been through here in recent centuries seeking treasures of the past. Before that, it was mutants fleeing revolution after bloody revolution in the place called Harem. Before that, refugees from a village called Shuenha. Before that, the Ossifagans themselves. You see a glimmer of a powerful artifact. Hundreds of years ago, there was a battle here. Many died. Two people, a middle-aged woman and a teenage girl, fought over a copper sphere at the top of the glowing bone tower. Perhaps the copper sphere is what you were sent here to find. Okay, so we're here to get a copper sphere. But we're not really interested in the copper sphere. The copper sphere is what I'm supposed to focus on, while at the same time somehow getting our access to Mazzof. Explore the towers around the spine. Easy task. You search through tower after tower. Some of the chambers you come across are filled with piles of dead relics and broken ciphers. Nothing of value. Finally you come across something promising. You find a staff made of some prior world metal. It's cool to the touch, unusual given the extreme temperature of the air itself, and burn marks blacken one end. Yeah, okay. Very likely this was used as a weapon. It may work again, but probably only once. You take the staff with you, so it's a cipher basically. Climb the tower to the transport. You are at the top of the broken bone tower. Jagged bone walls act as a kind of parapet. From here you can see the fields of the Ossipagan even better. The spine below you, the obsidian formations in one direction, and the glowing fields in front of the mountain pass in the other. Floating just next to the tower is a hovering pod made of azure steel. A ramp leads from the parapet into the transport. Connection to the dead. Little has happened here, but for one event that immediately becomes apparent. You see a middle-aged woman, you know her name to be Amma, facing off against a young girl named Thea. Amma is hovering in the air like the transport does now. He holds a copper sphere that glows with a golden light. Angry words are exchanged, and suddenly Thea leaps off the tower and tackles Amma. The two of them soar through the air towards the obsidian formations in the distance. Okay. Enter the transport. As you approach the ship, a tingling crawls up your spine. You have a profound sense of a task unfinished, and that trouble awaits you, or at least it awaits the person whose body you are in, if you leave now. Is this what Adiris meant when she said to be careful with Zarian's life? So, don't board just yet. We basically have three locations. To transport the spine, the obsidian formations at the mountain pass. I guess we're going to track down the two women wherever they went. So go to the obsidian formations. Crossing the volcanic plains, you arrive at the obsidian formations. Massive structures of cooled, shining rock leap from the ground, curling into impossible shapes. An enormous black wall rings most of the formations, rising 100 meters out of the ground in places. The obsidian formations are dark, quiet, and dissolute. A hot wind blows from magma flows further up, but here nothing flows and nothing lives. In the distance you can see the spine and the bone towers, and in the other direction the plains stop at a sheer cliff face with a mountain pass carved in between. Connection of the dead. The obsidian formations did not form naturally. Creatures made of pure light, called fire wights. I have a feeling I've heard them before. Very dangerous. Formed these structures out of hot flowing magma, then supercooled them into the shapes they are now. So they can use temperature as they wish. Control magma at least. And cool it off however they want. The Whites were trying to get at something or someone. You see a pair of figures atop a small flying platform. One of them holds a copper spear that glows with a golden light. The Whites try to trapped them here with the wall, but they escaped and flew toward the mountain pass. So why am I here? Another event occurred here. The Fire Whites have killed many people over hundreds, even thousands of years. These deaths culminated in the creation of something called the Gemorn, a creature of pure rage. The Gemorn has since wandered these volcanic fields with the insatiable lust for revenge, mostly against the Whites that created it. So, how risky it is to explore this area. Explore the area. Yup. You search for anything remotely interesting, but the place is barren. As you are about to leave, an orange glow reflects off the rocks ahead. An enormous paw steps in your path, and the rest of the creature emerges. It's the Gemorn, a pillar of light with claws. 100 faces twist in its body, emerging howling, then melting back into the curling fire. The creature is easily 3 meters wide and at least twice as tall. Sure, draw your whip and attack the Gemorn. Seriously? Whip is not a fighting man's weapon. Attack the Gemorn with your staff. Bail, mountain pass. You run. The Gemorn roars behind you, but it doesn't seem interested in you in particular. After a while, its roars fall away into the distance. Oh. The mountain pass is still some distance away, but you're close enough to see that there is too much rubble at the bottom to make your way through. Spread out in front of the cliffs is a great volcanic plain. Across the entire expanse are hundreds and hundreds of creatures lit with a dim glow that has nothing to do with the magma. You know these creatures are called Fire Whites. At the moment they seem to be ignoring you. Well, there's so many that there's no way fighting is an intended option. Doesn't look like I have a single fire staff and a whip. I'm skeptical I could take on even a single one of anything. Lore mystical, lore natural, study the White's behavior. No, connection of the dead first. You see a group of people in tattered clothing march through the pass and out of these fields. They are terrified, having lost many of their number to the Whites. You see 2 figures riding a small flying platform, almost like a shield. Suddenly the platform teeters and the figures fall. You can see the spot where the shield fell, and though the bodies are no longer there, you can feel their presence very strongly. And there, in a short distance away, you can see where one of the figures dropped what looks like a copper sphere. Attack the White with your whip. Okay, lore mystical, lore natural, study the White's behavior. Again, very easy success. You stay near them, watching for a long time. At first, they seem to be just wandering without rhyme or reason. But then you realize that the shifts you feel in the air temperature are not random or natural. The Whites themselves are causing them. Indeed, once you figure this out, you can see how they use the temperature of the air as a kind of communication between each other. Maybe you could use this information to slip past them. Use the connection with the dead to speak to those who died here. Though there are no bodies on the surface, you can feel the dead beneath the rock, preserved by magma that has flowed over the spot over the centuries. One is a middle-aged woman named Ama, the other is a girl, but she is strangely silent. Even with your strange powers, there is nothing there to speak with.
Peace, says Amma. Is it better? Better, yes. Better oblivion.
Who are you? Well, I know who she is. What happened to you?
Buried to death, before that lived, before that died, before that lived and died, and lived and so many cycles, so many deaths.
The air shivers. Her tone drops dangerously low.
Before that, someone else awoke and remembered. A fight, a girl, Erlimnian.
Though you cannot see Amma, her presence moves through you, turns your head. You see in the fields in the distance what she is talking about. The Erlimnian, a spear of burnished metal lying in the rock. And you know this is what you were sent to find. Okay, who are you exactly?
Amma? No, not Amma. Shelled, cast away, eaten and alive and eaten again. Not Amma. Food for whites.
Why can't I speak with the girl?
Gone. Gone but not gone.
You shudder, but it's not you who is shuddering.
She woke something. Vengeance. Though no vengeance is in her.
Did the other obsidian wheeled creature kill her? You feel Amma's presence looking off toward the obsidian formations. There is something glowing and moving over there. Right, so both are very dangerous, but I think that these are feeding on the creature that the other just destroys them totally. Okay. Get the shield. Get the spear. Explore the fields carefully. You search for a time, but there's very little out here in the fields. You do find some kind of a large shield embedded in the molten rock nearby. You also feel, rather than see, the strong presence of death here. You try to search further, but a group of firewights crowds in and threatens you. It is going to be difficult to get past them. Yeah, here comes the thing. Do we go for the shield or the spear first? The shield could be a dangerous distraction that ends up causing us to fail this. At the same time, it could be treated like a main quest line versus side quest. Shit hits the fan if we go after the spear, because it's the more important one. I have a feeling that that's a possibility. So this is a coin flip situation basically. Let's see if we can get the shield. I'm not attacking the whites. There's no fucking way I can survive that. These could be cast-offs, both of these women. So basically, fighting is not. If we end up in a fight, we're fucking running. So get the shield. The whites don't bother you as you try to pry the shield from the ground, but after a few minutes of tugging and digging, you realize it's impossible. The rock has cooled and melted and cooled again several times around the device. It is not going anywhere. Can I try to use my whip on it? So it's basically a sphere that's the only thing worthwhile in this entire place. Now that you know the whites communicate through temperature variation, you might be able to avoid their attention by feel better than sight, assuming you can figure out what the different temperatures mean. The sphere is about 300 meters away and the whites shift around constantly. It's going to be tricky to get close. Stay where the air is cool, stay where the air is warm, stay where the temperature ripples between hot and cold. Okay. The obsidian field was that's there were no whites there. That might be because that's probably because the monster is there. There's no real lava here either. So would the creatures prefer the cooler areas or the warmer ones then? I mean, I would expect them to be in the lava area, but clearly they're not. I don't want to go into the ripples between hot and cold because I need an answer basically. I need to know is it the cool or warm which we need to be in. I'm afraid if I basically go the half-ass at this, I don't know which one is causing trouble, so it's better to just choose one of the other cool or warm. If this causes problem, we're bailing towards the spine, or are we? Maybe the four obsidian formations might be a better retreat place, because the creature holds a grudge against the whites. So I think I would be much safer. That could be the creature's purpose. If we get the device, shit is going to hit the fan. So instead of going for the transport, we should go for the obsidian fields for protection. Or maybe we can lure the creature from the obsidian fields here, but that's we already tried that basically though. He's not interested in following us this far. Okay, hot or cold? Hot? Using the temperature in the air to feel where their attention might be, you close the distance to the sphere by about 100 meters. The whites don't seem to notice you. But doesn't really tell me much. I think I'll go with the warm, now that I think about it more closely, because this is supposed to be a very hot place, magma and everything like that. So where the fuck is the cool coming from? That's the abnormal. This is supposed to be warm. Warm is normal here, so I'll stick with warm. And they have the ability to cool things down, like with the obsidian formation. So yeah, I think the cold is the abnormal thing, so we'll try to avoid that. You close the distance by another 100 meters. The whites still don't notice you. Right, so warm is good. Close enough. You dive forward, grabbing the sphere and tumbling away before the whites can stop you. The air suddenly becomes a sickening pattern of intense cold and heat. You have escaped the whites' attention so far, but they're paying attention to you now. Several of them attack you with outstretched hands. Attack the whites with your whip. What the fuck is with that whip thing? Even if the staff works against them, there's too many. I'll take down one. Maybe it's totally pointless. Run to the spine. Okay, obsidian formations. I'm betting on the fact that they're not gonna follow me there. And the creature really didn't bother me until I started to explore it, and I could run away from it too. So obsidian formation. The air grows colder as the whites close in, right? So cold is white. You bolt in the opposite direction. As you near the enormous obsidian structures, the air heats up again to its previous volcanic levels. The whites have disappeared suddenly and you are alone. Seek out the Gemorn. Why? Maybe there's something to be gained here, but my mission is accomplished. I'm not here for this. I'm not risking anything. Return to the spine. Transport. Enter it. You step aboard. The transport does not appear to have been made with adult humans in mind. There's only room enough for you to lay down, and even then you have to roll on your side and bend your legs slightly. As soon as you have done so, the ramp recedes and the doorway disappears. Your stomach lurches as the transport takes to the sky. At first you try to peer out of the tiny portholes, but all you see is pitch black, presumably the volcano's black clouds. Eventually they are replaced by the black of a starry sky. You try to see the land below, but it's impossible in the cramped space. Hours pass. Finally the transport slows, its humming ceases and the door reappears. You step out of the transport, stretching painfully. You are in a strange cavern. Artifacts are strewn everywhere, in various stages of repair and experimentation. One wall is covered by a network of displays, showing people and scenes that mean nothing to you. In the center of the room is an enormous cage made from steel tendrils. Right. Made from steel tendrils that twist together at the top. The cage glows for a moment and a figure walks out. He wears a thick cloak, but his face is most strange. It shifts and blurs, changing its features constantly. You get the impression that you are seeing a person, but you can't define what that person looks like at all. His name comes to your mind immediately, the Chimera. So a new agent apparently. Took you long enough? Chimera's voice is metallic and artificial, shifting as often as the features of his face. His expression slides and change, but all of them are frowning as he reaches forward and takes the sphere from you. With your unique gifts, I thought finding a dead relic would come easier. The Chimera sets the Erlimnian on a nearby table with a clunk. He immediately picks up a variety of scanning tools, one after the other, probing the Erlimian and its secrets. He seems to have forgotten about you. You look around the cavern, but there is no entrances or exits, nowhere this Mazzof could be except for this cage. We could just go use the cage. Where is Mazzof? I need to speak with him. Yeah, it's a easy persuasion check. Mazzof? The Chimera's altering voice slips from baritone to falsetto in a rapid series of notes. A dozen different eyes narrow with suspicion. Not sure that Tinker could tell you anything useful. I can think of no reason to deny you. The Chimera turns and slides a hand along one of the metal tendrils. Although no discernible interface appears, he presses his fingers against the metal twice, and the cage begins to glow. The Chimera turns his attention back to the sphere, indicating you should enter the cage with a dismissive wave. Two of the metal tendrils become a kind of a doorway. On the other side, Mazzof squats on some sandy alien shore. Stars twinkle in the sky behind him, but they are no stars you recognize. He picks up his head as though he heard something. Then he turns around to face you. One of his eye sockets is artificial, alternately projecting a human eye, a snake eye, and a something even more alien, and each time he looks over you. He looks like a shipwreck survivor, bare-chested, ragged pants, ragged beard. If so, he's better fed than you'd expect. Syrian? He says, his human eyes squinting in the light. What the hells do you want? He peers forward as though trying to see into the cavern. Do I want to ask questions? Where are we? That might be an interesting question. Where are you? He spreads his arms in mock welcome. I'm on a goddamn beach having the time of my life. Where's it look like I am? He crosses his arms across his chest. What the hell is it you want? I'm not sure if this is an important question. Do we want to keep pressing this? We're here for the information about the resonance chamber. Okay, let's focus on the important one. The resonance chamber has been smashed. I need to know how to fix it. He puts a hand to his chin, all anger and suspicion gone in the face of a puzzle. Well, it ain't that hard if you know the basics. The chamber's crystal, yeah. It's grow, not build. So long as the chamber's core is intact, it should know how to grow itself. You just need the catalyst to... He trails off and looks at you anew. Why do you want to know this? The resonance chamber is only good for... He gives you an angry look. Who sent you? Why are you after this? What tell him about I've been listening to voices in my head or just the sorrow haunting us? Okay, I think I'll choose the Spectre option. The Spectre, being in my head, told me if I fix it I could stop the sorrow from hunting us down. Mazzof barks a short bitter laugh. I don't doubt it would stop the sorrow and a great many other things. I don't know how, but the changing guard's trying to use you. If that chamber's fixed, nobody benefits but him. You can't trust a damn word that bastard says. How would the resonance chamber benefit the changing guard? No. What the fuck does the resonance chamber do? The resonance chamber's only good for one thing. He holds up a finger. And that's snuffing us out. The changing guard plans to use it to merge all of us, every cast up that still lives, back into his body. That's his plan for stopping the sorrow. He puts a grease-stained hand on your shoulder. Look, I don't know who you are or what your part in this is, but you cannot let him activate that chamber. You need... He glances over your shoulder at something in the cavern, though when you turn, you see nothing there. The first is alive, he whispers, drawing your attention back to him, and she's got her own plan for the chamber, one that won't kill us all. Our sire has a new cast-up body that he plans to use as a catalyst for the chamber, but the first has a better plan, something that won't snuff out every last one of us. Look for her in the gloom, he says grimly. Just make sure you don't... Before he can finish, you feel a wrenching twist in the center of your body like your heart is being wrung dry. Your vision tunnels black, and you feel as though your body were being sucked through a steel pipe. You're being pulled out of the mirror, but it's far more painful than it ever was before. Then Mazzof, the cave, and everything disappears. So our initial impressions about the chamber were exactly on point, although I'm not sure still how it works. I'm the catalyst in some way to get this plan in motion. The question is, am I the changing god or not? Here is how I see it could have gone. The changing god was in this body, and his plan was to use the chamber to put an end to this, but the sorrow interfered at a critical moment. Basically, he was forced to abandon this body at the last moment, so he was about to put this plan into motion. And he doesn't have a new body that can pull it off. He has a new body somewhere, but he can't pull off his plan. So I'm the centerpiece, the one that can basically put this, whatever plan this is, every both side have into motion. And I need to basically choose one of them or do something on my own. But I still don't know what plans are. Whatever you do, just make sure you don't fight. So we basically can't. And now there's a sorrow fragment also in my mind, so that could also basically complicate things. So potentially there's at least 4 different ways that this can go, or sides that can try to use me into their making things go their own way.
I'm ready to become even more heroic!
I'm guessing this is my mind. The Spectre. You plant your hand on the icy floor and push, staggering up to your feet. Every inch of your body aches as though you've been crushed in a massive hand. The Spectre stands before you, impassive. It may be your imagination, but he seems more solid than before. Collect your thoughts. You concentrate, struggling to gather your thoughts, but the world through your head is hot, like hot sand. The Spectre sighs, seemingly less solid now than he was a moment ago. We need to talk. You barely hear him through the pain. But this is your mind, honed in your duel against melees, sharpened to a glittering edge. You inhale, clear your pain from your limbs, and gather your thoughts to you. Focusing, you open your eyes. The Spectre, now slightly transparent, is speaking again. So I'm guessing the more transparent it is, the weaker it is. I have something I've been meaning to tell you. You see, I haven't been completely honest with you. I am not part of you. You are part of me. I created you. I am the changing god. I've been wondering where you were. Here, he says simply, his outline solidifying. Here all along. Okay, I guess we need to be careful with how we answer. We need to make him more transparent, avoid him being solidified. Now, I know this is a lot to take in. It means this body of yours is actually mine. I lived in it for years, and now that you know that Burst is still alive, now that we know that Burst is still alive, I need it back. No, this is my body, not yours. I knew you'd say that, but let's get this straight. I lived in this body, I made it for a purpose, and now you say your wisp of a life outweighs my centuries of experience? Or maybe you think my first cast-off has a better way, hmm? Some magical solution to live out your false existence without a price? I promise you, she has no such thing. She has always only killed to get what she wants. Her self-interest is just as strong as yours and mine. The only difference between the 3 of us is that I am real. You wouldn't exist if it weren't for me. You don't exist apart from me. Everything you are is a byproduct of my skill, my intellect, my experiences. And now that I have the chance to stop the sorrow, to save us all, you refuse me? Who in the hells are you? I'm the new owner of this body. It was never yours to take, the spectre says, grimacing. No, let me tell you what you are. You are an accident of fate, a parasite in the mind I built. You are a child. I don't want to destroy you, but I will if I must. Give me control. No. Then I'll take it, the spectre says and spread his arms. A tidal energy pours from the air around you, flowing into the spectre. The ground itself slips around your feet, holding you in place. You feel your grip on your body, your mind slipping by finger lengths. You are diminishing. He is winning. You search your mind, your hard-earned memories, for something that will loosen its hold on you. Your hard-earned memories. So what options do we have? Give up and collapse. Yeah, not that. Your machines have driven women in Sagas mad. What makes you think you deserve to return? I'm going to rip you out of my mind. That's not an experience. We don't need to fight. That's not an experience. Yeah, I don't think this is a time to talk this over. He's forcefully trying to take over my body. Unleash the words of Kra on the spectre. Huh. Mimetic warfare. This is not really releasing it into the wild, though, is it? I'm using it inside my own mind. Although I was told to never reuse it. But it's already in my mind. Yeah, I'm not. I'm guessing this would. To my mind, this is the only place that it could be used without massive negative consequences. Everything is happening in my mind, control of my mind. So if I can't use a weapon that's stored in my mind, in my own mind, what the fuck can I use forever? Nothing. Unleash the words of Graf. I want to see what happens. Drawing breath, you shout the sharp, barbed words that once destroyed the people of ancient craft. They tear themselves from you and plunge at the spectre, closing over his mind like a mouthful of yellow, jagged teeth. He staggers, hissing, then plunges his hand into his head. One by one, the spectre pulls the words out and crushes them in his now fading fists. His outline blurs, becoming hazier. Yay! Up. I found the book of Singing Thorns and read the inscription. You've fallen far from where you began. The spectre looks briefly surprised. The color bleeds from his flickering frame. He growls under his breath. I've never forgotten what happened to her. Not once. He is nearly transparent now, nearly gone. Your machines have driven women in Sagas mad. What makes you think you deserve the return? The spectre winces as if you have struck him and mutters something under his breath. You barely make out the words through the chaos around you. I would drive everyone in Sagas mad if that's what it took. Then he looks up, startled that you've heard him. This moment of uncertainty costs him. A portion of his own energy lashes through him, stealing a portion of his strength. Yeah, I think that the woman part is somehow central to why he is the way he is. It might have begun as an attempt to basically save the woman. His research into this. Maybe he needed more time, so he needed a new body. Use his research to do it, continue his work. Doesn't mean that that's his overall little storyline. More or less that could have been the ignition point where this all started. With a shuddering gasp, he stumbles backwards, fading in and out of visibility. The pressure on your mind dwindles and ends. What the fuck would have you done if you couldn't have enough of these memories? I mean, you don't have to aid the women, I think. And you don't have to find the book necessarily and use it correctly. You don't have to get the mimetic warfare thing. So, what's the other path to get through this?
Fine, he says, eyeing you with cool contempt. If you're so intent on stopping the sorrow on your own, have at it. Let's see how you handle what's in store without my help, my guidance.
Then he fades completely, but speaks again. His voice is coming from all around you, from every corner of your mind. He is not gone, only hidden himself in your mind.
I wasted my time trying to reason with you. That won't happen again.
Why isn't he gone? As the portal closes behind you, something feels off. It only takes you a second to realize the spectre is gone. It's quieter now, in the calm of your mind. But he's not truly gone, is he? You can still feel him out there, watching, waiting, perhaps for a moment of weakness in which to strike. Perhaps. Ooh, almost 2 level ups. Increase edge or increase tactical? Tactical. Do I want more might? I think speed might be more up our alley. I don't know if more intellect is gonna make much of a difference now. Might would be hit points. At the same time, like a vast majority of the challenges have intellect pool in them. At least in this path I've chosen. I also have guys that can do speed and might much better than I can. So I'm basically the intellect guy. Everything intellect related is directed to me. So yeah, I'll gather up the intellect pool.
All right.
No main quest. Excellent.
Go.